Hi everyone, welcome to Business. My name is Hilary, and the reason for Business is the Chat is to actually engage, to network, to connect people, to learn from each other, from an entrepreneur to an entrepreneur. So today's segment, we're going to be talking about the liquor industry, the BAVs. You know, we love the BAVs. So I'd like
Yes,
to
there.
introduce my the beverages, you know. So I'd like to introduce my three panelists. Thank you guys for honoring my invite. I am so grateful that you guys could make it to the session today. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first guest speaker, Sandile. Would you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your brand?
Oh, thank you so much, Mo. And hello, guys. Happy to be in a panel with you. My name is Sandile Masego. I am the managing director for SV Wines, a wine brand that owns Zarion by SV Wines. We were established this year. Our business is 8 months old. We basically in the business of selling wine, creating collaborative spaces, and also giving a voice to other businesses. We love interactions. We love creating events. We have 4 different wine variants in our wine brand and are looking at expanding into an MCC soon. And yeah, that's basically us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just and
And so our next guest speaker, Lucky. Lucky Maro, ito ko bitsa Lucky. Letlhogonolo, Slaga. I don't know what to call you.
Saga. But can I introduce myself? Hi guys, my name is Letlhogonolo Sekiele. I'm a founder of Four Corners Liquor, small business, and basically what we do is we're gonna start distributing, selling alcohol day to day, Monday to Sunday. That's basically as simple as that.
Thank you so much. And our last guest speaker, Vose. Are you ready?
Yes.
Please take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Vosin Lobo from BVN Market. Uh, I started my business in 2001, and so far I got 20 years experience running my own retail. I'm running a liquor store. I'm having a pub. I'm doing distribution for social service, and also I'm doing food parcels for environment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, I'd like to find out what inspired you to get into the liquor industry. Um, so, Sandile, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
Well, what inspired me basically, I wanted a brand that can cut across different industries. I wanted to start something that can allow me to enter different spaces. And I find wine as one great conversator and one conduit to anything. You could be having a business meeting, you could be having a funeral, you could be having anything. Wine or alcohol is always basically part of the conversation, and I've loved wine for forever. I'm a host of notes in my home, and I've always basically collected wines. And I decided to leave corporate and delve into the business. That's what attracted me to the alcohol industry. And alcohol never ends; it's always going to be there. So I felt it also as a safe space to start something to grow as well.
How long have you been in this industry?
I've been in the industry for 8 months now. So I
Oh,
started, we bottled our first batch of wines in March. And yeah, so we've been in business since March this year.
Thank you. Okay.
Must I go?
Yes. So you are
All right.
like Mr. Four Corners. This thing,
Oh yeah. What
your
inspired me?
oh,
Stop. Oh. What inspired me to start off with Four Corners is that it's the only bottle store situated in Extension 4. And with that, we saw a problem. As any business where there's a problem, there's money. So people had to walk into Mufakeng to go buy their coats, to go buy their wines, to go buy the spirits, to go buy the whiskeys. So we just decided that let's open one here so that people can have alcohol, easily access to alcohol. And then coming to that, my dad used to sell alcohol bootleg at Madubulaville, so it's within the code. So yeah, so it's not like it started only with me. It's been there. It's just that I had to legalize it.
You have to carry on with the legends.
You understand?
Yeah, those are people who have inspired us to be their own business. Like my father also was running a store. He did open 1961, and also we grew up in a family business. And for BVN now, what I've done, I've done a one store shop, and currently we are on the BVN. You can find grocery store. There's a liquor, there's a dairy, there's a butchery, and we offer different. We offer service to different kinds of clients, and we are doing one stop shop. That's why we have include liquor on. That's why I did open a liquor store so that I can create one stop shop for the community of Moshake. Because of now, we are having challenges with new stores that are opening, and for them to be closer and to be next to wherever they live is going to be simpler for our customers and for our community. Yes.
You are muted, Mo.
You are muted, level.
You can't hear you.
sorry. Yeah. So
Oh,
I'd like to find out what are the challenges you guys faced in your guys' businesses. So Sandile, you
Yeah,
are next.
if it's ladies first,
always going to be you.
being a new wine brand, guys, people love their wines. People like to stick to the brands that they know and understand that have been around for long. So to gain market access has been quite a difficulty to basically get the brand onto shelves, onto bottle stores, onto restaurants and the like has been it's one thing that I can say is the greatest challenge more than anything. But once you've cemented yourself with a certain restaurant and stuff, then it's easier to sell. But just gaining that market access has been a challenge because people are aligned to old brands that have always been there. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Laga,
Oh,
you
Uh,
can shoot.
okay. With Four
yes.
Corners, what I'd say, it's still a baby. And with that being said, the only challenges that I've been having is awareness. We're situated in a place where I have to cover Zenzele Extension 5, Extension 4. With that, with the low supply that we are experiencing, especially I think Vusi can be my witness, experiencing the shortage of supply in alcohol, it will be a challenge as well. I'm still learning the business, baby steps, that's all I can say, but the game is on. Like I'm ready for any challenge that's on the table.
Thank you.
Yeah, the
So
challenge that
we expect more from you, Shena Vosi, to tell us
Yeah.
the challenges.
no, no, the challenge that no, mostly the challenge that we receive as SSMEs is red tape from the government. Number two, cash flow, because of now currently we need to have more stock on our stores, and sometimes it takes time to sell the stocks, and so we're having a problem in terms of cash flow. Uh, Crime also is a problem because of sometimes people are coming to rob our stores and all stuff, forgetting that we are the ones who provide employment for the community of Mohlakeng, and we are trying also to create the harmony in terms of selling best liquor in the township, best prices, and and good wines. Like Zandi said, we need to try and introduce his product to the township so that people can know that now black people are starting to develop and create their own brands, whereas before it was only whites. And the liquor industry is interesting, nice, enjoyable. There, there's always going to be challenges, but we are deal with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Um, so what I'd like to find out from you guys, what are the basic principles of being successful in the liquor industry?
Sure.
What are
No,
You go.
yeah. Mm. For me, what has been very critical is building relationships, creating networks, being hands-on your business, being consistent in what you do, from one event to another, trying to improve your skill all the time. Also, service has been one of the biggest things as well. Feedback as well, and making sure that you're always following up with your clients, the people that you are supplying as well. So those are the key for me: keeping the networks going, creating new relationships, being consistent, being present as the founder, especially for a small business, and just keep on improving on whatever you are bringing to the table.
Well, anything that Sandile has said is actually on the line, but what I would add is most of all is discipline. Discipline within the business is very important. And as well, to know your suppliers, how to get your stock in line and when to get your stock in line. It's so very hurtful to sell something to someone when somebody comes, "Oh, what are you?" That would actually hurt your business because it will actually put it down because you must always be on the par. Make sure that you know your customers, what is your target market, how you're gonna move your product through. So you can't be where I'm situated. I can't be at this point in time selling expensive alcohol. I don't know if you understand because I did my research and my target market is more on the lower scale. So if I had to put all the Hennessy, all the Cavassier, all the champagnes, they'll stay on the shelves for the longest time ever. So you must know your market, you must know your people that you're selling to. That's where your cash flow gets in. And then from there, what I'd say, like she said, uh, be efficient. When somebody says, deliver me cases, be there. When somebody says, I've placed an order on you, be there. And then, yeah, just to be successful, it's all the discipline. Without discipline, there's no business.
100%? 100%. Wilson, would you like? Wilson, you on mute? Wilson, you on mute?
Fine, sorry for that. Yeah, I think whatever Slaga and Sunny have told us, we need, for my side, I will just put, we have to be focused, punctual, know your product, know your client, your margin, how do you do pricing for your product, and your marketing strategy can help you to grow because of now everybody is going to this business. Whatever is getting a payout from work, you want to start opening a tavern, a bottle store, and all this stuff. And that way, we are getting new challenges on this industry. Bigger stores are coming to the townships, boxers and all this stuff,
Yeah.
and they come with a bigger variety. But at the end of the day, it's all about how do you communicate with your customers. It's the service you provide to your customers. What Slaga have told us in terms of availability and your turnaround time for your stock on the shelf is one of the most important things, so that you can always attract new customers. Thank you, sir.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. And I want to ask these questions to Letonolo and Jose. How do you guys select your inventories?
Sorry, can you
Select what?
repeat that?
How do you guys select your inventories?
Okay, on my
Inventory.
side, how? Okay, Jose can go first. Mafago, let me go. Okay, on my side, how I select my inventory, it's that, as I said, if we mustn't neglect your target market, do your research, know your people. Because now, once you select your inventory in the sense of if I had to take 8 boxes from Sandil and people are not aware of a product, and that's going to stay there. So that's how you know your target market, advertise, make some promos, make some sales, take out, what's this? Take out whatever that you know that will go out fast, and then that's where you're going to see your inventory control, how it's going to move. But from where I'm starting, I'm still learning that. Bear in mind, I'm still learning in that process. I think Boss will give us a clear example with that.
Yeah, for BVN market, what we are doing, I'm using a point of sale system. On my point of sale system, we got categories in terms of beers, whiskey, wines, and all the stuff. And from that on, like every day when we cash up, we can already knew that on Saturday, mostly we're selling pints, we're selling uh, whiskeys, we're selling beers. But from Tuesday to Thursday is where we're selling our go-tos. We're selling different kind of people, liquor that people can afford. It goes all on about how do you plan your weekly intake in terms of your inventory, and also every day doing your stock take because of the premium liquor that you have always to be got, like Hennessy's. Everybody's there on Hennessy's. Everybody's there on other liquors. That way you can still manage your your inventory in the right way. You know, like on Friday, I I cannot have I cannot open my liquor, whereas I don't have Savannah, I don't have Hunter's Gold, I don't have anything. But on a typical Monday, you know, if you don't have Savannah, people will buy whatever they find. They can buy Black Label. They start the week in on a slow mode. But when the week goes on, you have to have whatever people are buying.
Can I add on that? With Four Corners, what we did is, in a way, we have taken a lot from these other small bottle stores that are running in Mkhakeng. Just for an example, I'll take Cheapos for an example. He advertises his stuff, and I've worked closely with him actually. I want to thank him as well. He has helped me throughout the week. As was said, throughout the week, you must know what stock you're gonna be pushing out. Say now your quotes. I'd make sales on my quotes. I'd make sales that are easily moved because people during the week they don't consume too much of alcohol, as in from Friday to Monday. Because Monday, don't neglect Monday. Monday it's like a weekend, mom's liking. So Friday to Monday, excessive alcohol. But now during the week, you must know that if I have a certain amount of stock, I'm able to break even. Unlike you having nothing, and then that's where you can marginalize your inventory. What should I have during the week? What should I have on the weekends? Yeah.
Clearly,
Level.
also in terms of the margins, you have to know which product that are going to do lower margins, which product are going to make more margins, and how to turn around your stock faster. The most important thing is to turn your stock faster than anything else. That way you'll make a killing.
Okay. And I have a question for Sandile. So, some of these questions I get them from my TikTok viewers. You know, every time I host a webinar, I go live and I tell them that I'm going to be hosting a segment on a specific topic. If they have questions, can they send them through? So, I have one for you, Sandile. They asked about how can one get into how can they start their own wine brand?
Okay. I was actually advising another lady this week who also wants to own a wine brand. Research is always very important. Familiarize yourself with the SAU's website. They always have a lot of material for beginners or material for access to wine farms. It's very important to also try and understand the type of wine that you like so that you understand the type of region or the region where you have to go and look for the wine farm that does bulk wines. And find out when you are looking for bulk wines, are you looking for bulk wines for you to just put your label on? Or are you looking for a place where you can design your own wine? There are funds for that. Or are you looking to just buy the juice and then bottle your wine and then label it? So there are different ways to own a farm or to own wine. Or are you looking to actually do the whole agriculture thing and do your own grapes and things like that? What I advise for beginners is start with the wines that you understand and you know. Go to that region. Like for an example, you go to the Stellenbosch area or you go to the Robertsons area, and then you research on those who are selling bulk wines. And you do the tastings with the different wine farms up until you find what you like the most. And then you find suppliers who can do your bottling for you. Sometimes the wine farms themselves can actually do the bottling for you. Then you need to find a supplier who can actually do the labeling for you. The wine farm where you actually get your wines from, they will assist you with all the legalities to make sure that your wine is ready for the shelf, so that SAWIs can approve it, put the right stickers on it, and then you can go ahead. But also just understand, why do you want to have a wine brand? Because I think some people just ask the question because they think it looks pretty and it's something nice to have. So you need to just understand what is the concept behind you wanting to own the wine brand, and where are you going to push it, who is your target market, and things like that as well. So yeah, those are just the
Thank you.
basics in owning
So,
things.
if you were to give someone a step-by-step guideline to starting
Yeah,
the wine brand, where would they start?
that's why I said, where would they start is the SAWIS website to look for
That's
wine
the
farms. Yes,
okay.
it's SAWIS,
And then,
SAWIS. So you
mhm,
start there to go look for wine farms and find the wine farms that sell wines in bulk. Some, they do their own wines, but on the side, they'll sell their wines in bulk as well. So that's basically where you would start. And then from there, that wine farm will advise you, depending on the volumes that you want to buy, depending on the market, depending on the quality of the wine as well, because there are different levels of the type of wines that you can sell. They will advise you whether they can help you with bottling, or they will send you to a list of suppliers where you can do bottling. It's always easier to also do your own research for those farms that can do bottling. So basically, you start from that SAWI's website, you'll get a lot of information from there. And then do your own research. Don't be reliant on the wine farm's research only. And make sure that you have your funding ready, because everything always needs money as well, because most of the banks will not give you a blank check for alcohol, especially. Only after you have established your business will they be able to and look at the scalability of your business and then fund you. So for me, at least, because I was coming from corporate, I had a lot of savings. I did everything 100% from pocket. So people must be ready for that. And you must also be ready for the type of volumes that you want, because some wine farms will tell you, if you're not taking 10,000 liters and above, we cannot work with you. So you'll need to find the right type of farms that can assist you. So SAWI's website has a list of all the wine farms in the country. You look at them, you look at the contact details, and you can start making phone calls from there.
yeah, because I also helped this lady to launch her wine brand. Yes, sis, the amount of research that you have to do, reading, and like think is people are lazy to do research. There's a lot of reading, there's a lot of understanding, there's a lot of queries you need to follow up on. But yeah, but it's an interesting industry to get into. So I have another question. What is the quickest way to be a distributor, not on off sale?
Okay, can I answer that? There is no quickest
Yes, yes.
way in business. There is no quickest way in business. That's a simple answer. There's no quickest way. As she said, with the research part, it's very important. You can't just say, I'm going to start distribution. You must have a license for distribution. That alone is stress. Having to get a license for distribution, not off sale, it's stress on its own, because there's a whole lot of regulations that you have to pass through first before you can distribute. With any business, I believe that it's not like a Ponzi scheme. It's not like trading. There's nothing as quick as we can say with any business. It's all about research, knowing your market, knowing what you're going to sell and how you're going to sell it. And We need cash flow. As she said, you must have cash flow, and you must have what's this? Capital. You must have investors. You must know who's going to invest in your business and how you're going to repay them. Some of us, we start a small business, we think that it will boom. Without capital, to be honest, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to launch anything actually at this point in time. So there's no quickest way. Okay, from my side, there's no quickest way.
Lucy, you want to add on to that?
Yeah, no, there's no easy road on this industry that you are in. Firstly, it's so difficult. Like you can, whenever you go to the bank with your management account and all the stuff, you're looking for cash. It's always difficult because sometimes we owners we go month two or month three without getting salary on our businesses, and we make sure the staff everybody's been paid before us. And like Zanile have said, you have to sacrifice your time. You have to be focused. You have to be patient. Everything that's coming, we have to stand there. And currently now, as business is so bad, we like I'm happy that he survived the COVID time because it was one of the
Yeah.
worst time in our industry. We couldn't do anything, and we have to pay whatever we bought. And suppliers don't even care. They always want their money on the table, and it was difficult. I know most of my friends who've been running on the liquor industry, their places are closed now. They cannot even run because of the effect of the COVID and all the stuff. And we as entrepreneurs, people must know that business is not it's not a child's play. You have to love it. You have to have patience. Every time when you wake up, you find that your account is on negative 10,000 rands. You have to stand up and go face your staff and make them motivated to face the day again. And you are out. There's no easy way. We have to push, love what you do, pray, and focus. There's nothing like shortcut.
Yes, true. And I had an interesting question from one of the TikTokers. Name they asked, what are the opportunities in government for young people to acquire land for distribution? Like, does the government actually support the industry? You know.
Oh,
I mean, I think you should go for this one.
uh, let's be honest. Because I am 8 months into the business, I've recently
Yeah.
only now started to look for government avenues to see what is
Mhm.
it can I do with government. I've identified your tourism agencies as a place to go to. I've identified the DTI as also a place to go to. However, I haven't knocked yet at a door to see how far I will go. Luckily enough, I've been in government for many years before I went into business. So I know exactly how to knock on those doors. But I don't know as yet how do they give support. I know the University of Cape Town, in terms of wine, they have established a new transformation branch that focuses on black women in the wine industry and blacks in general in the wine industry. And I've also identified that as a route of entry into the industry because the wine industry is very white as well. So that
Yeah.
has been the one thing that I know that
Yeah.
government has tried to do to bring on that institution through the University of Cape Town to see how they can assist us. So for now, I wouldn't say I've received any assistance or anything from any institution, but I've identified institutions that I can potentially work with. Yeah.
Okay, when I started Four Corners, when we were about to open, it was 2020 around February, only to find out the COVID-19 would hit us. They gave us 21 days, and that also hit us. You must understand, we started the business, and the shop was closed. There's no income, there's nothing. So we had to wait till around June, I think. After July, that's when we started picking up. That's when we started selling, but with the restrictions. And they promised us a relief aid. I've never received a relief aid. I don't think Jose has received a relief aid. I don't think anyone in the liquor industry that I know of around Motlakeng has received a relief aid that they promised. We we put on papers. There's no relief aid. There's nothing. So I'm just saying that the government, it's a long shot.
Yeah.
It's a long shot. Try to mice them a bit and then focus on you first, and then you'll include them on a later stage till you know your story.
Very true.
Yeah, for me on government side, what I've learned and noticed that government it wants to fund business that doesn't know how to run. If ever need a funding to open a liquor store, like maybe Slugger will come in play. They will tell you with things that you don't want to have. Because of currently we got places. We don't need equipment. What do we need? We need cash flow to buy stuff. And mostly government wants to buy us equipment, expensive stuff that we don't use. Literally, they want to fund us fund us in a wrong side because of now we have things and we have our own mind, and we need to explore other avenues. But now they want to fund us the way they think they're going to help us, and it's not a use for us.
Yeah.
And I would like to add also,
Yeah.
on what, like you said,
Yes.
in terms of putting in institutions later. It's very important that when you start your businesses, you start and you structure it and you build it and you understand it before you bring in any other institutions. Because I truly believe when you add other people early on into your business without you having created a clear foundation, you can even confuse your growth path for your own business because there are so many opinions already in it or so many people with their own requirement into your business. So yeah, the drive and passion must come just from you, and you need to
Yeah.
mark up before you bring in other, additional funding, institutional
Yeah.
growth plans, and whatnot. That's what I would advise as well.
So somebody also asked about getting a liquor license. So, like, what are the requirements of acquiring one and the costs?
To get a liquor license for there are different kinds of liquor license. There is
Regula,
a
why are you
on
laughing?
Okay.
there's one for on consumption. On consumption is like pub, restaurant, and they have their own legalities. Like firstly, you have to get a zoning certificate from the municipality. If it's a house, you have to change it to business zone. Number two, you must have a tax clearance. You must go to the police station, do your fingerprints for police clearance, and from that on you can start. Well, if you got those papers, it's the way you can start now trying to uh, go to the liquor board to apply. And also you must have the plan for your place. You must, if it's a pub, you must have a plan that is going to show where is the toilet, where are the kitchens, and how many people are going to be seated inside, and all the stuff. The structure, the model structure of the place. It can take you 3 to 6 months. If you do it with your lawyer, must prepare to pay 25K. If you do it, you can do it yourself, but sometimes, with your lawyer, it's much more faster because of they know most of the other things, but you can still do at your own.
There are other consulting companies that are actually helping out with that as well. But you must get someone, not a fly-by-night person. They'll be scammed. But just make sure the person has a history in doing licenses before you consulted them. I actually consulted in one of my closest friend, Bulawa Consulting. He actually helped me out with the license, all the regulations, all the taxes, all the company stuff. So he's been doing licenses and other consulting things. So I think if you get somebody that's familiarized with the license and all the consulting, which due to the papers, because it's papers on papers. You don't have time for that. Pay someone that can do that, but a reliable person. But be careful. There are other fly-by-nights that can charge you 25K and then they'll take money from you.
No, that's true as well. I also used a consultant to acquire the liquor license. We have a national distribution liquor license as well. And also, what is important for the distribution licenses is your zoning for where you are. Just like what Vusi was saying, for us, it had to be industrial areas, industrial zoning for us to be able to acquire such a license as well. and it took 3 months because of using a consultant. So that's quite important. They can drive the paperwork. Yeah.
And also the
Okay.
annual, you have to renew annually. Currently,
Yeah.
it's 5,000 per month
Yeah.
from 2.5. If you lose 1 month, it go up with 50%.
Goes
If it's
up.
2 months, 100% going up. Every month, when you don't pay your renewal, it goes up with 100%.
And
Wow.
Vusi, with that, I think it's unfair on us when there's restrictions. Sometimes they put on restrictions on us, and then we have to still pay that annual amount where you haven't been working Monday to Friday, Monday to Sunday, where they make you work Monday to Thursday, whereas our killing point is Friday, Saturday, Monday. But when you have to pay your license, you have to pay it. You
Yeah.
can't say no because there's restrictions and what. They don't take that story. I think it's something the liquor board has to actually put in mind when they put in restriction. When the government puts in restrictions, they mustn't actually. They must give us grace. I think they should give us grace because if there's restrictions on days, there must be restriction. There must be grace for us to pay the annual fee.
No,
I
that's
think
true.
they should
Yeah.
implement that.
No, very true. I think also what the liquor board needs to consider is the size of the business. Because your liquor license is the same, whether you are a macro or you are a spaza shop, it's the
It's the
same
same.
across the board. And so there's no actually entry for SMMEs or startups to actually be given leverage by the liquor boards as well. So I think that's another thing we need to start talking to government about, to reconsider how it's done for SMMEs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I was
Yeah,
reading.
but
I was reading an article. Do you wanna add on something?
yeah, I just wanted to say, government doesn't take liquor industry seriously in terms of we black people in the township, because most of the time we don't even get their support, and we are the one who's trying to convey the message. We are the one who's employing people in the township. We are the one who's struggling with everything. But for us, we don't. The worst thing, we are being harassed by the police.
Yeah.
So sad. You are being
Yeah.
harassed by the police. We are complying. We don't comply. It's like we are playing.
Yeah.
You can go
Which
on
means
more.
this industry is very hard. But by rata faila, by rata
Yo,
faila, they
it's
don't know what you guys go through.
Hey,
So I
Yeah,
was
no,
reading an article. Yes.
you can go on
Can
more.
I say something?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. So I was reading an article, and they were talking about how South African liquor stores have the highest turnover in the country. Like, why do we have the highest? Yeah, I wanted to find out from you guys. Do you actually believe that? If it's true, why is it? Do we drink a lot?
I know that for a fact with the wine industry during 2020, we did very well on exports. We actually did better than other years in terms of the wine industry. And I know we are rated in the world as one of the heaviest drinkers. Our country, we have people abapuza kakhulu. But when it comes to turnover, I am not sure. And maybe the two gentlemen, the numbers are very high and
okay.
they
No, okay. What I would say, the big dogs are making a turnover,
yes.
not the small ones. The big dogs are
Okay.
making the turnover because now you must understand they sell in volumes and then we sell in smaller amounts. With volumes, there's more money in. So with smaller amounts, there's not, because now I can't charge, I must look at the price index. If Vos is selling Hennessy for about 550 and I'm selling it for 530, we must have a margin. There must be a margin that we have to reach. So sometimes you can't even break even. Understand? Because people now they say, no, I used to buy Hennessy for 450. Now it's 550. What went up? Understand? But South Africa, we consume a lot of bona levedicines. They did say levedicines.
Listen, bad.
So we do
Listen,
consume
bad.
a lot of
It's not bad.
alcohol. We do consume a lot of alcohol, but for the small businesses, it's very difficult to say we get a lot of turnover. It looks like we get a lot of turnover, but not in paper. I'd say not in paper. There'll be a lot of feet in the store, but there's a whole lot of other variables coming in, other factors that you must consider before you say you've made a turnover. But maybe Vosi can give me light. Maybe Pagodo, I could say. I don't know. Maybe you give us light on that.
Now, I am more talking about the turnover. In terms of the turnover, more we can make a turnover, but after your expenses and everything, you have to know where you are situated. That's why, like I was talking about the margins and all the stuff. We can, yeah, like in terms in business, we are not only looking for the numbers like turnovers and all the stuff. We have to go down to the level that you are underneath and check how much you left with before we can say. Because of sometimes other businesses are running maybe five M a month turnover. At the end of the day, when you check his books, he's still owing. He cannot pay 1, 2, 3 because of his margin. But he's making fees, but he doesn't make profit. You understand? The government will get
Yeah.
numbers because of HAVs and all the stuff, but we underneath we have to fight for every cent, and that cent counts. And whatever you going up with your prices, we got no customers. We have to be on the market related prices for the township base. That's why Zani did talk about that. There are different kinds of products in terms of why we have to know which market are you going to deal with. As much as like I said, the Hennessy, he can sell it for 400. I can sell it for 450 and people will buy it. It's all about how do you packaging it, how which people are you going to focus on and all the stuff. The market is like it's a jungle. You have to always be on the lookout for every little bit of something. There are stores that are full every day. They're full. Customers are there running up and down. But when you check his books, it doesn't do nothing. At the end of the day, he's still crying for waste. There's a lot of waste. There's a lot of in terms of employment, a lot of people taking everything. Like you have to have your smaller package that works for you.
Yeah.
There's no
So
one size
so
fits all in this industry.
so so Vusi, what is the cause for you to not be able to balance your books?
Sorry?
What causes you to not be able to manage your books, in terms of talking about the turnover?
No, like I was breaking down the turnover point of view at the end of the day because of
Yeah.
turnover is only it's all the money that comes in the business, just coming in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You sell. There's a turnover. From the turnover, you got the cost of sale. In terms of cost of sale, you have to know how much stock did you buy for, how much. From the cost of sale, you're going to go to the expenses. In terms of the expenses, salaries, electricity, transport, and all this stuff. After that, you're going down. Cost profit. How much is that? After that is tax is coming in, VAT is coming in, UIF, PSUN, all this stuff. You have to pay it before the 7. Hmm? After that, you're on negative, but you got 1 million in the bank account. And you started
So
asking
that
yourself what's happening.
so in terms of pricing, do you price your stock, like how does the pricing work? Like obviously each one is different, right?
That's fine.
Or is it like, do you have that a set price that, oh, Hennessy is gonna cost this much, and
No,
what is
no,
the
it
pricing
depends on the
structure?
supplier. It always
Okay.
depends on the
Which
supplier.
means
Because if the supplier
which
goes
means
up and you still stuck on the same price, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So whatever the supplier says, if you still had to say they sell in Savannah for this much, and you used to buying it for around a tray of Savannah used to buying it for around 300 rand, and then they go up by 30, but you still on the same price, you can already see that you're not going to make profit. So all the
okay.
costs will be on you. You've got workers to pay. There's petrol. If your cold room is not working, it's from the business that have to go up. So your prices must accommodate almost everything that's around that, which people don't see. So this is the back room where people don't see how your prices are going and whatnot. Somebody would say your savannah is expensive from versus savannah, but where Vosa gets it, it's about less. But where I get it, it makes my profit margin, it makes sense in my profit margin. You understand? So it's all about the supply. If
Yeah.
the supply goes down, I can make sales. You understand? But if the supply goes up, I can't be stuck on the same price, but I'm buying this at a higher price
No,
and
that's
still have
true.
to pay workers, still have to do with all the other costs that follows with that. So I think that's also difficult to explain to people, especially when you are in a community of people that are used to uh, low prices. That's very difficult to say to them, this went up. That's something that's very difficult. So that's why you have to hire people and just do le morago, sarasa le batho. That's on my side. So because people would say,
Yeah,
well,
that's
now why would the price go dimo and whatnot, without understanding that things are going up. Whatever you do, things are going up, especially in alcohol. Alcohol is much more expensive now than it was 2019, 2020. Because you must remember, our prices in Motlakeng, let me just say Motlakeng, when it comes to alcohol, they've been down. Go to other communities like Soweto, Kagiso. If you ask people, they're buying alcohol at high prices.
Yeah.
And we still a bit down, actually.
yeah, because I've
That is
always been
very
curious
true.
about it. Yes, and that's why we have this platform, so you guys can tell us about what happens behind those doors.
Yeah.
So people can get a better understanding because they have this approach. Maybe you are my friend, or maybe I know you and you are too pricey, but they don't understand why. You understand?
No, it's very
Oh,
true.
thank you. I think they're watching now. I think they understand now.
Now, I'd like to make an example with the wines because people always like to own this wine brands and stuff for pricing of your wines. I'll give you an example with this bottle. This cap, this thing alone, it's a price, right? This alone, the label is a cost. There's a design cost to go into this. As a cost for putting it on the bottle. There's a cost for licensing. Then there's the bottle itself, this thing, the bottle. It's also a price. Then the liquid inside is the price. We haven't bottled the liquid inside. And then for me to get it to Goosey, it's a price. For me to market the wine and put up the brand and make it look pretty, it's a cost as well. There are so many costs. The person driving it to go and deliver, it's also a cost. The storage where we're putting up the wines, the supplies, like Vusi has a storage, I'm sure, for his alcohol. It's also a price. The security around that is also a price. And a person will live in Sandton and wants the same price as a person who lives in Katlehong. And the distances are not the same. That's the price. And how you market from Katlehong and how you market in Sandton is also totally different. And it's also a price. And then there's the time element, that you put in, the effort, the everything. It's also another price. So it's the cost of when you take something off the shelf, you always need to think beyond just the price because there's so much
Yeah.
effort that goes into just bringing that one bottle into the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. True.
On business is so difficult. Firstly, we need that's why we're always having to do the cash flow projection for month to month because of sometimes other months we like now it's low shedding. Our diesel cost is shooting up the roof. You have to sit down and cut whatever you cut. Sometimes you tell people no, you are not going to work a 5-day shift. You're going to work maybe working 2-day shift because of
Yeah.
now. You have to balance the expenses in terms of your businesses, and people and your customers will never understand that what you are going through. So that's why we will always try to do our uh, having our own management account monthly to test the market and see where are we going. Because of sometimes if you can leave something to go a month or two without checking whatever is happening in your business, and at that month you will never pay your salaries
Yeah.
or you'll
Yeah.
never pay your stuff. It's so difficult. That's why we always find that our first week and our last week of the month we push. During the
Yeah.
month,
And then yeah. So how does the promotion work? Is it like on you guys when you're running a promotion? Is it on you, or do you guys like have some form of communication with the brand owner? Because obviously we see, oh, okay, Savannah is on promotion. Is it has to it does that have to do with you as a store owner, or is there some form of communication? How does that work?
there's
Okay.
there's a lot of there's a different types of promotions. Like let me say
Mm-hmm.
Zandile. Zandile has got a new product. It's not on the market. I can make an arrangement with Zandile. Zandile, put your stuff on my liquor. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
whatever sells, I'm getting certain percentage. You tell me
Mhm.
your markup price and all the stuff. Maybe I don't on his markup price. Maybe I put 50 cents as my profit, and you sell a
Mhm.
product. All of a sudden, they come says Mavusana, I got everything. I got banners. I got everything. Going to do wine tasting, and we're going to sell our stuff. Please don't sell my product over this amount of money because of I'm there to promote my product. Don't overprice it so the market can buy it. And others, they said, Mavusana, we got buy 2 pallets of Savannah. We're getting with so much price money. When I come back, I will never have to hold Savannah in my store. I make promotion with my Savannah. Savannah goes in and out. It's all about how do you communicate with the supplier and how long he can take you to. You understand?
All right, very
Okay,
good.
on
And
that,
then,
with promotions and stuff, on my side, um, I do it weekly, during the week. When I know
okay.
Kemampara week, that's when you want to push your products. That's when you want to have ends meet. Understand? That's where you want to know, okay, if I sell 3 quarts for this amount, that's a sale for them. If I sell 3 quarts of Hunter, like I made an example of what Cheapos did and whatnot, what I've learned from what he has done with his product, with his store and stuff, which I've learned a lot of things from him, and as well as what Vusi has been doing with sales and stuff. So you making promotions, it depends on days, on how you want your product to move, especially when you're starting small. It depends on, like, if you make promotions during the week, you definitely sure that there will be somebody in the store, there will be somebody buying because you know you've made a promotion. There's no people that like sales like people of alcohol, people that drink alcohol. They love sales. So just make sure during the week, make your sales just to be above, like just to have your head above the water. That's all. Because otherwise, you sit there during the week with the same alcohol that you have to sell only on weekend.
Now, just
Okay.
to put a spinner in the works there more, I'm actually currently running a 15% sale, guys, on the wines we are Black Friday online.
Yeah,
So
no,
please
that's
Yes,
check
good.
I was.
out
Well, get the boxes.
I,
zainab.co.za. 15% of everything.
Yeah, no, we'll
everything.
get
Yeah,
them.
I was about to. I was about to ask. How are you guys developing your own online presence?
Well, for
So.
me, I'm not using a team as yet. I do have
Mhm.
a team that's doing the network development or the website development. They will be doing the enhancement on Google, on YouTube, everywhere. For now, we're still posting ourselves on Instagram. We share our events and stuff. And the more, of course, you post, then the more people know and see the brand and your brand presence. And we are using also the partnerships we have with some of the stores where we are at and some of the restaurants that we are at to also promote the brand. So basically, that's what we are doing for now. But the plan is to expand and actually have a marketing person who actually markets the brand, because without marketing, you're not going to be in people's hands. People are not going to be on Zarion o'clock, you know. So marketing and pushing it on social media is quite important.
Okay.
For
Guys,
me,
you wanna add?
uh, for my business, currently online business is not so, like it's not going to have a great impact. Like people like Facebook, I'm using more Facebook than online. I use WhatsApp, I use SMS's notification, branding the car and all of that because of my community around Western. Yeah, for me, I don't. Online business is great for other products, but for now, for me, I don't see it. I don't see it making an impact for now. I
Yeah,
don't
for
know,
me, it's just
Slaga.
like, no, I'm not even in that level yet. What I'd say is it's important to focus on what works for you best. For me now, what I focus on is hand-to-hand papers around the store, what sales and whatnot, around where I'm situated, just to get the store familiarized with the people because it's still a baby. So with that, with online, it will be on a later stage whereby we'll be doing deliveries house to house, just like Devon is. That's what we're working on. Unlike you having to wait on the line at the bottle store, there will be a scooter at your door with a bottle of wine. Maybe I can use Sandila's wine as well on
Yeah.
sale. I'll be buying those wines from there.
No,
So
it's
that's what
true.
you're
And
working on.
then, yeah, you wanna add on, Sandile?
No, I was saying that the brand is different to what yes Uvusi was saying because he's store based, then he doesn't use a lot of social media. But for us, because we're looking at a national market, then we
Yeah.
use a lot of social media. We get to reach people in the Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, Northwest, everywhere. We're based here in Pretoria, but like now we've just been invited to the Eastern Cape to Gqeberha to come and showcase and promote the wines there and stuff because of social media. So it's very important to understand your market and understand how you use your social media for your market. But I'm quite happy that you are saying you're going to be having scooters in your business for deliveries. And one person was actually saying it online, asking when are the bottle stores or stores going to start delivering
Oh,
alcohol
that
locally.
person heard from me. That's Cleopatra, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I read that.
Yeah. And then, what is the most stressful part about working at a liquor store?
What is the most?
Stressful
The
part.
most stressful part, yeah, about working at a liquor store.
It's your
Because
security.
I remember
It's your
when I
security.
the thing,
Oh, what my
the
stressful part
security.
is the part of security. Anything can happen any day. I think Jose has experienced a whole number amount of security problems about people getting in the store, your life, the life of your workers. Every day you wake up, it's just stress. Because people they'll think that this person has this amount in his store and they'll just come in with guns and whatnot, not knowing that you're not even making that amount they're thinking. So the most stressful part for me, it's break-ins and the robbings. That's the stressful part. I haven't experienced that, but it'll be stress for me to having to leave my workers there, having to find them tied up and stuff. That's just stress on its own.
Yeah, was it?
Because you can.
Yeah. Worries, government, uh, stock availability. uh, no, I'm serious. Like we like every day is a challenge for us. It's a challenge
Mhm.
and it's stressful to put a product on the shelf for the customer. It's so that's why I said, but you have to love what you are doing. And if stress comes, you just put it under the bed and go forward. Because of every business it's got it's got all every business got challenges. But it's all about how do you handle, how do you cope. Yeah, because sometimes your employees will tell you, no, it's Friday, I'm not going to work that side. Said why? He said, no, last week we did have a robbery and I was the one who was pinpoint with the gun and all the stuff. And you can do counseling, you can do everything and that kind of stuff. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Like
And you, Sandile,
that
what's the most stressful? Sandile, what is the most stressful part about having your running your own liquor brand?
It's pushing stock. I
Business
think for
stock.
me, that's the stress. Having stock sitting on the floor is my biggest stress. I don't want to see product on the floor. I want product to move. That is my with terms of security and stuff, I'm in a very good security center where the stock is. So I don't have challenges that the teams have challenges with working with people who are there every time. For me, it's a storage, we open, we distribute. So pushing that stock. Having a week where you don't have to go to the warehouse to collect stock is stressful for me. I don't like seeing my wines in front of me. They must be sitting with people
on the shelf.
somewhere.
It
So
must be on the
that
shelf.
is my
People must buy.
yeah. People must
Yeah,
they must be glued
because
to shelves. That's my
because the
biggest.
problem is that the more stock you have is your cash.
It is. It's
Is
sitting in
your
my
cash.
money. Yeah,
It's sitting there at the end of the day, and you have
exactly.
to turn it up.
Exactly. So that is my biggest thought. That biggest stress. Yeah.
So like, because I've been doing a lot of reading about this, the liquor industry. So I saw somebody who was giving tips on planning for a post-pandemic big uh, thing happening. I'm like, so like this thing of this whole pandemic situation is really, really a problem. So you always gotta have a plan in place for it. If this happens, what now? So do you guys have plans in place?
If you
Uh,
talk about plans when there's a ban and restriction, there's no plans unless you go illegal. So there's no plan.
Oh, there's no
If
plan.
there's a restriction, there's no plans. For us, there's no plans. We take a huge hit. We take a hit whereby you have to tell your employer that they're not gonna get paid.
Yeah.
You know, we take a hit by way probably. I'm just like because I'm not paying rent. But if I had to pay rent, I'm gonna take a hit. Understand? Because this industry, when you when there's restrictions like bans and stuff for days and days, we we're gonna take a hit. There's no plan for any owner unless you want to do it legally. But there's
No,
no
very
plan.
true. Very true. I would share that sentiment. For me personally, the wine brand will not push. I'll have to use my other businesses to be, like my MC gigs and whatnot. And that also still can't work because it relies on events. And then I'll have to go to my professional services. I'm an environmentalist by profession, but the alcohol itself will not be moving unless truly you do go underground. But yeah.
More, how can you plan for something that you don't know?
Yeah. But
How
now
can
you
you plan?
know.
No, at the end of the day, for us, Benny the liquor is so sad because of now we have families, we got kids, we pay everything with that kind of money, and at the end of the day, after that, nobody's giving us money. We don't get loans, we don't get anything from the banks. When you come there, they'll tell you no, your account is been having four weeks without money coming in. How can we help you? We don't have pay slips, 3 months pay slips, whatever they need. They say give us 3 months bank statement. You don't money there. They will tell you if you give you money, how are you going to pay us? You understand? It's so difficult. That's why, it's like I told, whatever comes, we'll deal with it.
Yeah. So as I was saying with Sandile, you must just have if at this point in time, don't only rely. I'd advise if anybody goes in the liquor industry, don't only rely on that alone, because that will hit you very hard. So have something on the side. Try to push for something on the side, and try to make sure that uh, whatever you're pushing won't get in the way of any restrictions and stuff. But it's difficult. So with plans,
Yeah,
no, there's no plans.
yeah. Because I was about to ask, what advice would you give to like people who want to, like, people want to get into the liquor industry, and people who just wants to be entrepreneurs in general. And okay, let's first okay, these are my my closing statements and whatnot. So it's advice you would give to anybody who wants to enter the industry, and somebody who just wants to be an entrepreneur. And then what is your 5 year plan? What's the vision for your businesses? So okay, who's gonna go first? This time I'm not picking.
Ladies first.
Guys,
Ah!
okay. Well, for me, any advice for anyone who wants to go and be an entrepreneur or enter into the liquor industry, don't enter into things because they look fabulous or because they look great. Understand what you want to do with the business. Understand what is your plan. Why do you want to enter and be an entrepreneur? Be self-driven, have energy that you will feed from yourself. Be self-independent, self-assured in your ideas. Be clear and have clarity on what you want to do. Because if you enter or if you want to be an entrepreneur and you're going to depend on other people clapping hands for you, it's not going to work. Or you're going to think everybody's going to love your business, it's not going to work. Believe in yourself and the ideas that you have, and then go ahead. And research the business that you want to go into. If you want to go into the liquor industry, understand the liquor industry, understand what the challenge is there. Look at the reports from what was happened. For me, like in the wine industry, I had to understand what is happening in the wine industry. What are the challenges for new brands? How can I market my brand better? You know, and in terms of my 5 year plan, I've already indicated that I'm going to be releasing an MCC. I'm basically working on an MCC for March next year. March is always our entry point because it's my birthday month. So by next year, March, we'll be releasing an MCC for Zarion. That's the exciting part. And then in the next coming 3 years, I have a concept called the Glass House. It's going to be a wellness hotel where they only purely sell my wines. It has other concepts that is centered around it. And also would like to also open a Zarion bar where we're going to be selling other wine brands and other spirits and the like. So that's basically within the 5-year plan for our brand. Thanks. Super.
You. So, so, Slaga, you are next.
All right. With everything that Sandile has said, but the most important thing, as I've been stressing about it, as an entrepreneur, wherever there's a problem, there's money. So there's money, there's solutions. But that comes with discipline. It's either you're going to suffer the pain of discipline or you're going to suffer the pain of regret. So don't go into anything without research, as she said. Again, when I started this Four Corners, I understood that it was problematic for the people of Extension 4, Senzele, Extension 5, to get reasonable amount of alcohol. And then I started it. That's where I saw there was a problem. So a problem, there's a solution. Solution, there's cash flow. So with that, I'd advise somebody that's interested in any liquor business that they must do their research on the communities, the target market, and where they're going to be situated. Don't be far away from people. Don't be around too much competition because just that's going to be stress for you. And our 5-year plan is to have franchises around other communities. I want you guys to be seeing Four Corners in every community. That's our 5-year plan. There will be scooters running around everywhere. People will be at home ordering wines, ordering their whiskeys, whether it's your wedding, whether it's your after tears, whether it's your baby shower, we'll be there. That's our 5-year plan. Yeah.
Yeah, right. For my side, to be entrepreneur, you must first believe in yourself. Don't wait for funding. Start where you are. Don't like you must have dreams. You must know what you want. And there's market everywhere. You don't have to be on a liquor, but there's a lot of things that can happen currently. Like the pandemic has shown us that we need to be more flexible and we need to understand how to make business. My 5-year plan, currently I'm doing supply and distribution for prisoners and other stuff. And we are currently developing our own Bura Vows that we're going to distribute around small spaza shops, small even rural townships and other stuff. The 5-year plan, I'm busy developing my own DV market. Currently, I'm starting with one store in Mhlakeng, and hopefully in 5 years' time, I'll be having plus minus 15 around Westland and Israel. Yeah, currently things have been fine. It's difficult, but you are praying and you're going on. And just know that you have to believe in yourself. There's nothing come easily. There will be difficulties every month, every day. Everybody will tell you your project is nothing. You have to do this, but if you believe in yourself, you can make it. As for me, for my 20 years experience and where I come from, I couldn't believe that I will start this one day. And from where I come from my present times when I was released, I started I started something from nothing. And where I am, I'm still benefiting from my courage and for my belief. Thank you.
Oh, and lastly, surround yourself with like minds.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yes,
Surround
yes.
yourself with like minds, people that are
Yeah.
driven with any business. I've learned a lot from my friends. I've learned a lot from almost everyone that's around my circles. People are doing different things. There's Brickcon, there's Cervex, there's Royal McGrady, there's IT specialists that we're working with. There's abasebenzi powered by Diana. There's a lot of people that are driven. So if you surround yourself with like minds, you're going to be driven as well. So your surroundings says a lot about where you're going. So if I hang around with people that are not ambitious and stuff, trust me, I won't get motivation. But most of all, you must motivate yourself, but your surroundings are very important.
Yeah. So, I forgot to ask this question. It's now my brain is working. I have like top of my mind questions as well. So, like, what business opportunities are there in the liquor industries that people don't like tap into or aren't aware of?
For me, for the wine industry, what I've realized, there are a lot of businesses, like for labeling. A person who's done graphics and whatnot. There's a huge labeling market. There are companies that just specialize in creating labels and creating the mechanisms for the labels to go into the machines that actually stick the labels onto the bottles. So that alone is it's a market. Then there's Cox companies that just specialize in creating a cork. That's their core business. They ship corks, they sell corks, they create different types of corks for the bottles of wines. And then the screw caps and the bottles themselves are also a business. It's not only Console that sells bottles. Actually, in the country this year, we ran out of bottles. The wine
Yeah.
industry had to ship in bottles from overseas because there were no companies in the country that could produce the amount of bottles needed. So enter into the bottle making industry and just sell empty bottles. That is a whole business venture on its own. And then in terms of bottling, there are people who just own bottling mobile units. All you do is just go to different farms. There are different types of farms, small farms that produce wines but don't bottle the wines themselves. So that alone is also a business. Then there's logistics as well. Lastly, on my side, the logistics business, it's a massive business, in terms of transportation of the wines. And this, we are just talking local. We haven't tapped into the international market and you selling the wines to your Botswanas, to Africa, or to any other country and the like. So those are some of the businesses within the liquor industry that you can actually tap into without having to own a wine brand. Super.
Yeah, thank you. You guys want to chip in?
No, I'm cool.
Okay.
Now,
Family has been adding more wines to her. Hey,
now,
what you say, little? You must taste
uh,
those wines.
me and Slag, our business is different. Yeah, we have to play where you are. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And the problem is that if everybody can allow us to do whatever we want to do and cut the red tapes, we will having more business. But now the red tapes are the one that's stopping us to
Yeah.
penetrate in this business. Like whatever says Angela says, for her business is good because of I'm learning, and one day I can have my own brand, maybe label or maybe getting wines to come this side and do whatever I wanna do. You understand?
Yeah.
And for distribution, we're in the township, our market is small. We don't cannot,
Very small.
cannot yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all about how do you tap on the market.
Okay, last question before we close. So, if you were to venture into another industry, which one would you venture into besides the liquor one?
That's
Anybody?
giving away ideas, most now.
No,
I'm, a-
that's giving
I'm,
us, but they don't know how you're gonna execute it.
Yeah, I'm
They
kidding.
don't know what to plan.
there's a lot. For me, I'm on retail and I'm selling groceries. And every time I drive, I see squatter camps, I became hip because of where my money is.
Yeah.
Whatever
Okay, I'd
squatter camps
go.
coming up, yeah, it's where my money is because of currently I want to manufacture my own vows, and now I've seen everybody who doesn't have electricity is my customer because of you have to buy and eat now. Those who buy 20,000 groceries are not my customers anymore. I've shifted my model to where I can make money daily than once off people who are going to buy grocery for 2,000 rand and put in their fridge. The industry have changed totally. And if you're going to focus for people who come to buy with trolleys in your grocery store and all that, you're going to lose money. Must go to
Okay,
the ground.
on my side, I would tap into manufacturing paint. There's a whole lot of
Okay.
RDPs that are built. There's a whole lot of houses that are built, and there's a need for market for RDPs and stuff. So if you manufacture your own paint that is reasonable, unlike people having to go to these other big brands, you can tap into that as well. So that I've seen a gap on that because taking for an example, there's Extension 5 here in Mokakeng where they're building houses, beautiful houses, and having them to cover that whole house with paint is very expensive. So if you manufacture your own paint, do your research, manufacture my own paint, I can supply them with proper paint. That's actually what I'm actually looking at the moment.
Nice, nice. Because you know what? It's easy for people to say they wanna do it, but they don't do it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, you
so
must take the
yeah,
first step.
not
The
everybody.
first step is very important. The first step is very important. Wake up every day, dream about it, but put it to paper. Know
But
about
also,
it, put it to paper.
I think also another important thing that people must always remember, what you are thinking, 100 more people are thinking it. You are not the only person. Your idea
Yeah.
is not unique, but not all 100 will implement that idea. I always
Yeah.
say, just look at trends. Trends always show you that X number of people are always thinking about the same ideas because
Yeah.
there'll be a trend. Good to know. Now we have Netflix. From Netflix we have Amazon TV, we have all these TV. Everybody now has their own type of Netflix, because there's an idea, it's being implemented. So when you have ideas, implement those. Just start,
Start.
and everything else will follow. Stumble
Will
and
follow.
fall and
Yeah.
hit yourself on the head. Wake up, continue with that idea, but remember, you're not the only one with that idea.
So, which industry would you venture into besides the liquor one, Sandy?
I would have continued with my professional career as an environmentalist, and I'm
Okay.
venturing into consulting. So that's where I want to use my science skills there. I'll basically be in consulting. However, I love the hospitality industry. So if it was not Lika, I'll probably go and own a hotel or something. But it will all have to do with something that has Lika, because utshwala siyabuthanda.
Yeah, so, in closing, I'd like to thank you guys for being part of Businesses That Chat. I learned a lot. You guys were amazing. I wish you well. And I always say, I wish you more kacheng and all the best in your journeys. And to the people who were viewing, thank you so much for engaging. I really appreciate your time. So, cheers, everyone.
Oh, cheers.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Adile, you must send me wine.
No problem. Mo will
Please.
send me guys details. I'll send you wine.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
thanks,
also
thanks,
want
thanks, thanks.
wine. We all getting
Don't
wine.
worry.
I think
Everybody
you
Only
should
getting
post,
get
wine.
a bottle each. You get a bottle each. You get a bottle each. You get a bottle.
please,
Yay!
please.
Yay!
Thank
Yeah, this
you.
is amazing.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Ciao,
Bye.
ciao.
Bye.